cared about. That moment when you realize they're simply not going to respond. Or maybe you've been directly rejected after putting yourself out there. That crushing feeling when someone you valued says they don't want you in their life anymore. We've all felt that sinking feeling in our stomach, the racing thoughts, the replay of everything you might have done wrong, the overwhelming urge to either beg for another chance or block them completely, erasing them from your digital existence, as if that could somehow erase the pain they caused. I get it. I've been there too, more times than I'd like to admit. But what if I told you there's a third option, one that doesn't involve compromising your dignity or burning bridges? A path that actually leads to growth, inner peace, and sometimes, quite unexpectedly, brings people back into your life when you're no longer desperately wanting them to return. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep, and I mean really deep, into a powerful Stoic approach to rejection that will completely transform how you handle disappointment in relationships, career setbacks, and life's unexpected. Before we begin, if you're new here, I explore ancient wisdom and how to apply it to modern problems. My goal is to take timeless philosophical insights and make them practical for your everyday life. Hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos that could change your perspective on life's challenges. This is going to be a comprehensive guide, so grab something to take notes with. I promise by the end of this video, you'll have a completely new framework for handling rejection, one that will serve you for the rest of your life.
স্ট্রেটনিং, কালার, কার্লিং, বছরের পর বছর চুলের ড্যামেজ এবার ঠিক করার সময় এলো নতুন ডাভ হেয়ার মাস্ক। এতে আছে 8% বায়োপ্রোটিন ফিউশন, যা চুলের গভীর।
The problem. Why rejection hurts so much? Let's start by understanding why rejection hurts so deeply on a biological level. Neuroscientists have discovered that social rejection activates many of the same brain regions as physical pain. That's right. Your brain processes the pain of rejection similarly to how it processes physical injury. This makes evolutionary sense. As humans evolved, being rejected from the tribe wasn't just emotionally uncomfortable, it was potentially fatal. Those who felt rejection more keenly were more likely to avoid behaviors that might get them ostracized, thus increasing their chances of survival. Understanding this biological reality is important because it helps us recognize that your strong reaction to rejection isn't weakness, it's part of your human operating system. But just because something is natural doesn't mean we can't develop better ways to work with it. Most of us respond to rejection in one of two ways. First, the please don't go response, bombarding them with messages. Hey, just checking in again. Trying to negotiate your way back. What if we just try for one more month? Making grand promises to change. I'll be completely different this time. Showing up uninvited to places you know they'll be. Sending gifts or letters trying to remind them of good times. Using mutual friends as intermediaries. Essentially, begging for another chance while sacrificing your dignity. I call this the diminishing yourself approach. It rarely works. And even when it does, it establishes an unhealthy dynamic where your value in the relationship has been compromised. Or second, the scorched earth response, blocking them on every platform within minutes of the rejection, bad-mouthing them to mutual friends, posting cryptic or not-so-cryptic social media updates aimed at them, convincing yourself they were terrible anyway. I never really liked them that much. Dramatizing the story when retelling it to make them the villain, destroying gifts or mementos they gave you, letting anger mask your hurt. I call this the defensive ego protection approach. It feels powerful in the moment but often leads to regret, burned bridges, and missed opportunities for growth. Both reactions come from the same place, emotional pain, and both actually give away your power. They're reactions rather than intentional responses. They're driven by fear rather than wisdom. The Stoic philosophy on adversity. To find a better way, let's turn to the Stoics, those practical philosophers from ancient Greece and Rome who specialized in developing emotional resilience in the face of life's challenges. Contrary to popular belief, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or being coldly logical. It's about engaging with your emotions intelligently and not letting them dictate your actions. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes not from controlling external events, but from mastering our internal responses to those events. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Epictetus, who began life as a slave and ended as a respected teacher, emphasized this point even more strongly. Make a distinction between what belongs to you and what doesn't. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. And Seneca, the Roman statesman and playwright, reminded us, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." These aren't just lofty philosophical ideas, they're practical tools for navigating life's rejections and disappointments. So, what does this mean when someone rejects you? It means doing something that feels counterintuitive, but is incredibly powerful. Accept the rejection completely, and then focus entirely on your own growth. This is not passive acceptance or giving up. It's strategic resilience. It's reclaiming your power by focusing it where it actually works, on yourself. The psychological foundation. Before we get into the specific steps, let's understand why this approach works from a psychological perspective. When we face rejection, we often enter what psychologists call an anxious attachment cycle. We become preoccupied with the person who rejected us, our thoughts spiral, and our sense of self-worth becomes tied to their validation. This creates a self-reinforcing loop. The more we chase, the more we heighten the importance of their approval, which makes the rejection feel even more painful, which makes us chase more desperately. The Stoic approach breaks this cycle by
নতুন সানসিল্ক ব্ল্যাক শাইন তাই গ্লাস শাইন ঝলমলে শাইন করো গ্লাস শাইন করো
1. Redirecting your focus from external validation to internal growth. 2. Activating your brain's reward system through meaningful activities rather than rumination. 3. Building genuine confidence through tangible accomplishments. 4. Creating psychological space that allows both you and the other person to see the situation more clearly. Research in neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself, shows that we can literally rewire our thought patterns through consistent practice. The approach I'm about to teach you isn't just philosophy, it's applied neuroscience. The method, a comprehensive approach. Here's exactly how to apply this Stoic approach in 3 major phases with specific steps for each. Phase 1, the reality, acceptance phase. First, you need to fully acknowledge the truth of the situation without minimizing or distorting it. This is harder than it sounds. Our minds are expert storytellers, constantly creating narratives that protect our ego or feed our hopes. Step 1. Name the reality explicitly. Say it out loud or write it down in clear, unambiguous terms. Jane has decided to end our relationship. The hiring committee selected someone else for the position. My friend group has moved on without including me. No qualifiers like for now or until they realize. Just the facts. Step 2. Identify your areas of non-control. Make a concrete list of what you cannot control in this situation. You cannot control their feelings. You cannot control their decisions. You cannot control their communication choices. You cannot control their future actions. You cannot control how they interpret past events. Epictetus emphasized this distinction between what we can and cannot control as the foundation of emotional freedom. Step 3. Release the alternative realities. This is where you consciously release the imaginary scenarios your mind has created. The scenario where they text you tomorrow saying they made a mistake. The scenario where they're just testing you. The scenario where, if you had just said or done one thing differently, everything would be fine. These alternative realities are emotional quicksand. The more you struggle in them, the deeper you sink. This acceptance isn't about being passive or fatalistic. It's about establishing a solid foundation of reality from which you can take effective action. You can't navigate effectively if your map doesn't match the territory. Phase 2. The dignity preservation phase. Once you've accepted reality, the next phase is committing to your own dignity and worth. This is where you establish healthy boundaries, not as punishment to the other person, but as respect for yourself. Step 4. The clean response. If a response is necessary, make it brief, dignified, and final. I understand your decision and wish you the best. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate our time together and respect your choice. I'm disappointed but understand. Take care. Notice what these responses don't include. No arguments about why they're wrong. No self-deprecation or desperate promises. No subtle digs or passive aggression. No leaving the door open hints. Step 5. The contact protocol. Establish clear, intentional rules for yourself about contact. No checking their social media. Consider a temporary mute or unfollow if needed. No accidental run-ins at places they frequent. No reaching out when you're feeling vulnerable. No drunk texting. Seriously, give your phone to a friend if necessary. No